final descent into Denver. Please raise those seatbacks and tray tables to their full upright and locked position. Make sure all those carrying and observing stood underneath the seats in front of you or Russell's overhead bin. Double check that those seatbelts are securely fastened for landing. We'll be on the ground shortly.
My trip started as I landed in Denver to a beautiful sunset. This was where I joined Richard and Mike, who I met from the Backcountry Post forums. I had hiked with Richard once before and survived, so I thought I'd push my luck and sign up for another of his adventures. Our destination was just west of the town of Du Bois, Wyoming, in a lesser-known wilderness tucked away between Yellowstone, the Tetons, and the Winds. It was a set of mountains that caught my attention when I was leaving Yellowstone the year before along Route 26. So when Richard proposed this trip, I was sold.
Alright, we're at the trailhead.
On brand to Richard's trip plans, this was mostly off-trail. We would start from Noir trailhead near Brooks Lakes and hike toward Bonneville Pass. Once we reached the pass, we would head off-trail and to meet up with the geological Continental Divide. We would follow it for most of the trip. On our route, we would briefly drop down through a pass for Perry and Bode Lake before ascending again for optional bagging of the peak of Crescent Mountain. Seeing how it was the beginning of the hiking season, water would be more available up high through snowmelt, so we would find plenty of camping after that. On day 2, we would continue to follow the Continental Divide, traversing Buffalo Plateau. There was also an option to bag Wall Mountain, Peak 11317, or Peak 10962 along this route. After traversing Buffalo Plateau, we would meet up with Marston Pass Trail to reach Marston Pass before setting up base camp for our main objective of the trip the following day, Younts Peak. We would leave the trail again at Marston Pass and attempt to bag the peak. The beta known was to head up the southern ridge of the mountain with a small Class 4 scramble, or to go further west to the southwestern ridge for an easier route but longer walk. Once we summited Younts, we would retrace our steps back to the car over a couple of days. Our hike began along Somerville Creek under some cloud cover. By the time we came to the first opening with a view south of the Pinnacle Buttes, the clouds were already lifting. We had a bluebird day by the time we reached Bonneville Pass. However, it wasn't the external condition that brought pause to my hike, rather something internal. I was having a hard time catching my breath on this mile trail. Sure, the 10,000 feet elevation can make it hard for me, a flatlander dwelling on the coast, but it usually doesn't hit me until 13,000 feet. I suspected my issue stemmed from just getting over COVID-19 for the first time a week prior to the trip. Despite the vaccine, my lungs were wrecked, and I was having a hard time breathing. It was the worst I've felt on a hike. I told Richard and Mike before we headed off trail, and we decided to see how I felt through the first day. They were very supportive this entire trip, and I was immensely grateful for such awesome hiking partners. I took my position following up the rear as we started climbing up toward the Continental Divide, lagging behind more than usual, huffing and puffing away. After we gained the bluff overlooking Bonneville Pass, we found a used trail for the first mile or so. Nearing mid-July, there were patches of snow dotting the high meadows. At one point near the ridge of the plateau looking down on Dundee Meadows, there were some interesting hodos providing some foreground layering in our photos. After the game trail disappeared, We traversed mostly over the high plateau meadows with plenty of wildflowers broken up by small sections of rocky screen. There was a small cliff band we had to navigate down as we reached the pass for Perry and Bode Lake. Crossing the trail here, we then headed uphill once again through some patchy forest and then some meadows. As we took a quick water and snack break, we could see some storms forming toward the west. We would have to monitor them as we were now in the open with no shelter. After a final scree incline, we reached the ridge of Crescent Mountain.
I did it.
From here, we could see the silhouette of the Grand Tetons under the storm clouds we were tracking. We continue along the windy Crescent Mountain Ridge with views down the Crescent Creek drainage out towards South Fork Shoshone River drainage. The contrasting color combinations, white snow, green grass, red dirt, gray rocks, and blue ponds seeing from the ridge made me feel like I was walking through a painting. Luckily for us, the storm clouds missed us on all sides and blue skies returned as we descended Crescent Mountain. Toward the north, we could already see the end goal of our trip, Younts Peak, with Thoroughfare Mountain next to it. Mike and Richard scouted for camp as we went, and we found camping on a sheltered flat next to a seasonal stream.
Good evening, guys. It's end of day number 1.
In my condition, it was a pretty tough day, and I looked forward very much to crashing in my tent.
Good morning. It's day number 2. Today, we're going to go head toward Younts Peak, and we're going to camp on somewhere under it, set up for the hike up it tomorrow. Struggling a little bit with recently recovering from COVID and altitude, but Richard and Mike are carrying me through. I think I'm like when I was in Sierra, as a part of us going uphill was one breath, one step when it got hard. So I'm gonna keep doing that.
Be more the rays in the clouds.
Oh yeah.
day began as we finished ascending Crescent Mountain and started to head up onto Buffalo Plateau.
They would take dogs or ATVs and chase the elk through the woods, and they'd knock their antlers off.
Wow.
And so now it's illegal to pick up antlers until May 1st.
The three of us split up for the day. Richard looking to summit Wall Mountain, while Mike wanted to bag peak 11317. I opted for the simplest route given my condition. We would meet up again around Marston Pass.
We'll be heading up that way. Wall Mountain's out that way. Just go for it.
As I started hiking by myself, I met the first guests on our trip.
Hey bear! A lot of bear scat right here, probably from those bears I saw earlier, the mom and two cubs. They ran this way.
When I stopped for a snack break and to refill my water after crossing Turner Fork tributary, I saw a huge herd of elk up on the ridge that I had just descended from. They continued down the Turner Fork drainage while I continued north by rounding the base of peak 11317. Younts was very prominent on my horizon now. I found Mike waiting for me as I jumped in onto the Marston Pass trail, and shortly after, Richard caught up with us. After passing more meadows carpeted with Indian paintbrushes, we had a last uphill to gain the pass. At least it was on a trail. Looking back south from where we came from, we could see Wall Mountain and peak 11317 that Richard and Mike bagged respectively, making up the eastern edge of Buffalo Plateau. Uphill wasn't without some challenges as we crossed a couple snowfields, a good warm-up for our next day.
Man, the color in this thing is pretty awesome too.
What's that?
The color in this lake.
Yeah, it's definitely got a deep center.
Yeah. It's raining. Good to set up that camp here already.
At Marston Pass, we found a great camping spot next to a pond, but we had to weather a hailstorm just as we set up our tents. I was again exhausted and crashed out for the night.
Good morning. It's day number 3.
We woke up early for the crux of our trip, bagging Younts Peak. The beta Richard had was to head to the southwestern side of the mountain, where there is a small cliff band of Class 4 climbing. That didn't stop Mike from doing some exploration on our hike. We left the Marston Pass Trail as it headed down the South Fork of the Yellowstone River drainage. We would cross the headwaters of the Yellowstone River here as we started to work our way onto the bench just below the peak. We traversed the snowfields heading up to the bench, and the snow was pretty solid. We didn't need any additional traction devices as we kicked our way up.
Oh man, this zoom is pretty good actually.
When we reached the bench, we were greeted by a bull grizzly in the bowl underneath Younts. It didn't actually pay us any attention at all, which allowed for some nice viewing and pictures.
Later in the year, Younts is one of the mob sites we were coming across, particularly the other side, I believe. Like you said. Quieter up here.
Yeah. They're just not respectful of other people.
Yeah.
This is nice.
I honestly think there's one out right now. Yeah. I saw there's one from a couple of years ago in Idaho.
Oh yeah.
Huge, actually. Yeah. Okay.
It was like it was some rock climbing.
Yeah.
We gave the bear a wide berth as we made our way toward the southwestern slope of Younts, stopping often to stare at him, and then more movement.
My basin. Look at him go.
Yeah, it's like you're not going
Not any direction, not any terrain.
Where's the other guy?
There's one far, like the guy who was running, and the other one is to the far left.
Oh, I see him. Yeah, yeah.
You're not even interested in
Yeah, he was for a minute.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, he left.
He knows he's in charge.
The Type 4's and lens gets both of them at once. Does she have two cubs? Okay. I was wondering if the same.
Look at it. See, he went all the way up. What the hell?
They're both looking at the cubs, right? Because don't they want to kill the cubs?
This guy would definitely kill the cub. My guess is that, I'm not gonna walk up and check. But old male, young male, and obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. One cub's caught up.
That is insane.
Yeah. He's like, how do I go around? Okay. Jesus. How is he doing that?
Built-in crampons. I think this is his base. That's not what I saw. I've never seen anything I've never seen anything like that. Like that is incredible.
He might be able to. He can fall.
The rocks are
He's asserting his dominance down there.
I see one cub still. Oh, there's another one. It's to the right. Yeah, yeah. Oh, is there like two others?
They might be hanging out together. It's not super common, but that's
Oh, the one on the right has two cubs. That's so cool. They're going up high too.
yeah, big guy. Yeah.
Maybe that's why he wasn't trying to make eye contact with us. He's having other things to do.
Yeah.
Mhm. Do you think the one on the right was the one that you saw yesterday? We saw yesterday, possibly.
No.
No.
There's so many around. But occasionally what you'll see is it's completely possible that one of those bears is the other bear's mother. And they will hang out like that.
Okay.
It's not super common. There's a real famous bear in Teton, 399, that's known for doing that. In fact, this is one of the coolest stories is her, yeah, well, maybe.
Oh, she's
I
only
don't
one.
want to get too close.
Yeah. You
But
stay on your island, I stay on mine.
399 had a cub in her number, but the cub had 2 cubs like 1 year, and both of the cubs, one of the cubs died poaching and one died getting hit by a car, and 399.
After nature unfold, it was time to keep going. We reached the cliff band on the southern side. Richard went straight up it, while Mike and I used the gap between the snow and cliff band to the left. Your mileage may vary should you go this route. The backside of the mountain was a big green slope looking down toward Yellowstone National Park and the greater Yellowstone River drainage. The final uphill was a walk up on the grassy slopes to reach the summit of Younts Peak, topping out at 12,156 feet in elevation. Younts Peak has a prominence of over 2,200 feet and is supposedly the most remote peak in the lower 48. Being the origin of the Yellowstone River, it is aptly named after the first ranger of Yellowstone National Park, Harry Yount. Mike had been eyeing the eastern ridge of Younts on our way up and kept looking at it now that we were at the top. His mountain goat senses of adventure was peaked, and now we decided to give it a go. The ridge had plenty of exposure, and the way down consisted of a lot of loose rocks, composing mostly of Absaroka volcanic breccia. Richard estimates this route as Class 3.
Rocks. Oh yeah.
However, this route provided for plenty of views, being on the ridge, and was very engaging, being a puzzle at points. Perfect for satisfying my peak bagger companion's sense of adventure. I may have had some fun.
On that side. We're some mountain goats here. Sit on the edge like that, and I would like I couldn't look.
It's funny because it kind of leaned you back when you were sitting there, so it didn't feel like you're getting like.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's like, all right, note, that's not our good rock. I left it there for you.
Oh, the one that's loose right there.
Yeah.
I put it back before I fell too far.
Yeah.
Right over here is probably a little easier.
Below the cliffs was the headwater of the North Fork of the Yellowstone River.
I don't want to knock down rocks
I
on
don't
you.
want you to get here, then I'll go down.
You just came off of that, and it was very difficult. I bet if we had like 2 more hours, Mike will go climb that thing.
We returned to our camp, packed up, and started the long hike out. I was pushed to my limits in my condition. The rest of the day was a bit of a blur. We ended the day just after Buffalo Plateau. I took all the drugs I had on me and sweated the night in a feverish state. It's a wonder what a good night rest and drugs can do. I felt a lot better on the last day and ready to power through to the end. The Bluebird Day and walking through a field of flowers helped. Shortly before Perry and Bode Pass, we stumbled upon a sow grizzly with 3 cubs. Being downwind of them, we were able to observe them without alerting them. It was an amazing send-off to the end of the trip, a very difficult but wonderful trip.
They pushed her over. It's a powwow. Are they feeding?
Big thanks to Richard and Mike for seeing me through this trip. Also, thanks to Richard for putting together another great trip.
And that is the end of the hike. I am beat.
And thank you for watching. To support us, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.